Okay, here we go, quartering with tucker and tying. Now this is just the way I do it. No means is the best way, but this is the way I do it. So this is a fallow pre-rut, or right before the peak of rut, so I want to remove that bottom half of the back leg. That's where the tarsal gland is. It's on the back side of it, so you want to cut down the front. That's very important, but just running my first incision down that inside of the back leg and down the front shin, and that will avoid your knife going through the tarsal gland. Now my technique is small cuts and pulling at the same time. I do highly recommend lifting your animal to remove the hide. It makes it 1,000 times easier. Even with the quartering, it makes it so much easier. Now you can, if you've gutted it like this, it is light, so you can lift it with a rope, but if you have a lifting apparatus, that does make it 1,000 times easier. Alright, now I'm just going to saw on top of the joint, cut through that, and that removes the tarsal gland. No need to worry about putting your knife through that now. Alright, small incisions and pulling at the same time. That's what I do to remove the pelt. Small cuts and pull at the same time. I'm going to lift this over and use the weight from the leg to actually assist here, because I removed that bottom half of the back leg. I don't have anything really to hold on to, so I'm just going to use the gravity from the weight of the back leg while I pull and make small incisions here, cutting away the hide, taking my time, just doing it nice and gently. Don't need to do anything too drastic here. And as you can see, I leave a bit of meat on. That sort of is what it is. You will have that happen over the course. Again, if you can lift your animal up, it does make it 1,000 times easier, and you can near just pull the hide straight off. Actually, it does make it a lot easier. But here we are, just work along the ribs. Again, pulling and small nicks, pulling and small nicks. All right, now we're going to run from the inside of the front leg down to the pit. This is just how I do it. No means it's the best way. It's just how I do it, and then I just make gentle cuts around that armpit and start to remove the hide from the bottom up. Alright, again, I've actually cut that hole was on purpose. I cut that in to pull, and I'm just cutting and removing the hide down past the spine, so it opens up the back strap for me. Here we go, you can just pull. See, that's pretty well. If you have lifted your animal, that's near how the hide comes off the whole way. You can just pull it off. Just making small cuts and pulling. That's all it is to remove the hide. Small cuts and pull. Don't be intimidated by it. If you make a few cuts through and you leave a bit of meat on, or you leave a bit of hair on it, you know, it is what it is. You know, at least you're making an effort and taking some of the meat. Alright, back leg. What we're going to do here is downward lift and downward pressure. Now that just makes the hip joint pop, and you'll be able to see it, and you can make decisions around that joint, because that's all that's holding this in, and the muscle obviously, but you've got to cut through that, remove the tendon, ligaments, all that sort of jazz that's down there, and just cut away. Downward pressure makes it heaps easier. Now, because I've removed the bottom half of that leg, I'm actually going to cradle the ham here like a little baby. You'll see it in a second. There you go. Now that's to stop it falling on the dirt. You don't want to drop your ham in the dirt. No good there. And all I'm doing is just making small cuts around the bones. That's all I'm doing here. Small cuts around that joint and around that hip bone. That's all you need to do to remove that back ham. Small cuts here. See, just making my way, not doing anything drastic. You want to take as much meat as possible. Boom, there you go, backhand. Alrighty, now I'm going to cut the front hock off here just because I did the back, and I take them for dog treats. So we're cutting that off. There's no joint on the front shoulder, so all you need to do is lift and pull. Small cuts here, and the front shoulder both front shoulders just pull away. Again, no joint, just muscle, so it just pulls away like that. Super easy. Alright, the back strap, everyone's favourite cut of meat. Although the tender and the heart are pretty bloody good too. What I'm doing is cutting, making an incision at the top of the neck here. Then what I do, I run my blade along the spine, taking as much meat as possible. Now my technique of what I do, I don't mind hitting a little bit of bone here. I'll cut down the spine, and then I'll rake my knife across the ribs. So just raking it across the ribs so I can take as much meat as possible. Now this might take 2, 3, 4 passes. Take your time with it. Take as much meat as you can, because if you do that, all you need to do now is lift and cut away, and the back strap, all of the back strap comes with it. This is a quartering video, but in the actual process of taking a deer, I will come back and get the ribs and take the neck. So don't leave all that behind. Take as much meat as you can. But here's the back strap. As you can see, because I put that work in to scrape across the ribs, it's just falling out with me as I pull. Then I'm just cutting around the hip bone here, just taking as much meat as I can. So just feeling, yep, hip. There you go. Now that's how you process it. That's how I caught on my deer. Now you just flip that deer over and do the exact same thing on the other side. That's how easy it is.